Been some time, fellas.
Europe.
Here we are.
Yeah.
Three amigos. Maybe a fourth amigo. I'm gonna keep making that joke. Maybe she joins us again one day.
Shit.
We'll never know.
I can hit her up right now. My bad.
She ain't doing nothing. She's like, she told me the other day she was going to my cousin's restaurant all like down in Maryland.
Well, we're back on it. Set your podcast down just in time for the NBA playoffs. Be real with y'all. It's a lot of I told you so's. the beginning of the playoffs have been a lot of just we knew this. We call these things fairly well, but
we shooting like 95% from the field,
at least, right?
In
like,
life, like for just every topic in life that we got on here is like 95% from the field.
Well, it's fairly accurate. So we'll get to it. McFly in the building, G, Reek are also in the building. So let's start off with the playoffs, man. I mean, okay, is there something that's somewhat surprising to you? Is there anything that you're like, oh, well, that's unique? Maybe.
No.
I'm surprised
that the Pelicans
at
made
the
it.
Celtics. I'm surprised the Pelicans made it. And I'm surprised the Celtics in the Nets series. How that's going.
I think perfect example because I can get on the hate Kyrie train early today. All right, so as great as Kyrie performed, right? I think you're seeing the problem. Number one, I feel like they needed more time to gel, right? Because I think who was saying it? People think that Charles is stupid, but I don't think Charles Barkley is stupid. I think he's a pretty smart guy when he wants to be. He said it. He's like, even when they were winning, right? They need to both have great games. And they just don't have reps to me enough to be like, oh, I'm going to make sure I can find my rhythm and be great. And they're both two of the most effortless scorers we've ever seen. Right? Kyrie, I have no beef with Kyrie as a player. He's phenomenal. His other shit is, I don't know where his brain be at half the time, but the basketball is genius. But they need more time. So I feel like they're going to have off games where he will have a great game and KD will have an okay game and vice versa. That's hard to win when you have nothing else on that team because Ben's a bitch and you gave away all your youth, all your bigs, all your scrappers. You have none of that shit. I feel like if Kyrie would have been playing the last couple months as opposed to on some bullshit soul searching journey, maybe they'd be in better shape. But I mean, hats off to the Celtics, even though it's always fuck Boston. It's always fuck Boston. I'd rather Brooklyn win than Boston. But the boys came to play. And one last thing. On that game one, to get beat on a backdoor cut, I'm not the coach. I'm not, a former player. That's just unfucking acceptable. Like somebody should get cut off the strength of that shit today. But that's my 2 cents.
Yeah,
on that series.
They can't cut KD because that's whose fault it was on that.
Yes, what you do is you give him you put a brush in his locker at the end of the game. That's what you do to KD.
Yeah,
let him know what's up.
Definitely KD's fault. Even though people hate Kyrie so much that they was like, yo, that's Kyrie's fault, and they try to call him stupid because Kyrie said I got 2 people, which he did because there was a guy in the paint and then there was a guy in the corner. And he was the only one over there because 2 people ran out on Marcus Smart of all people.
Marcus Smart.
Say it right. Marcus Smart, the sniper.
The sniper, Marcus Smart.
was out there.
2 people ran out. KD was literally the only one just standing around, like not guarding anybody. Tatum saw that and just cut to the basket, which is what he should have did.
I think you're so biased in blaming Kyrie because I just look at it like load management. My man just got some time off. He's already hurt every year anyway. He should be fine. And it's Kyrie. I watched him play pickup with like YouTubers. He was balling. He's good. It's Kyrie. It's not like he wasn't balling. I don't think he needs. Kyrie doesn't need to gel with his team. It's give me the ball, get out the way, or give Kevin Durant the ball, get out the way. What team? What team are you talking about?
That's pretty much
Nash's
philosophy.
From somebody who plays ball and knows it's more than that. How do those words burn coming out of your mouth? Tell me that. Tell me how that. Oh, it's just get out the way. Is that what you feel, G? Is that how you really feel? You know that's bullshit. How many teams do you want where it was just get out the way for this guy and get out the way for that guy?
When the game was on the line,
I
knew what shot I wasn't going to take. I knew who to pass it to.
How many chips you won with teams that had a get out the way guy over here and a get out the way guy over there that
when
didn't
the game
play
is
together
on the
all
line
year?
And we
that didn't play together all year.
And I'm open at the 3. I'm passing it to Reek if he's double team.
But I'm telling you, is this we've never seen a team win doing that shit.
If I'm wide open and there's 3 people on Reek, I'm waiting for him to get open.
That's fine.
If the game is on the line.
That's fine. I'm just saying, when have you ever seen a team built like this? Think about the Heat teams. They all play. They had to get used to playing together. In 2 years, these guys have played together like 5 games.
This is the new NBA where everybody's friends. They've been playing together since he was on Golden State.
Won a thing. This new friendship bullshit. If he wasn't worried about friends and he wanted to win fucking chips, he can be in Golden State right now on a way to his 5th goddamn ring. But he's
some people just want to play basketball.
Then he don't want to win. So go ahead and have fun in Brooklyn and not win the damn game.
I also think a lot of this has to do with Nash being a terrible coach.
Nash is a horrible coach.
It's like
absolutely horrible coach.
Because it's funny. Like people think like the Nets have no bigs. He just doesn't play them.
He just doesn't play them. You don't play him.
It's like, yo, you got Drummond, you got Aldridge, you got Blake, like you got dudes that actual size pause like on the bench. So it's like you start Drummond. It is like you don't play him. And then you wonder, like, it's like, well, how did Al Horford get 20 and 10? Because
the guy that should be checking him wasn't.
Right.
Pretty
much.
It's
like, I know me and G hate this. This was happening a lot, game 1, especially in the 4th quarter. They kept switching everything on defense. So all Tatum was like, oh, okay, who's Horford? Who's Horford's man? Oh, KD is on him, or what the other skinny dude is, Claxton is on him. And he's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna call for a screen. They're gonna switch. Now Claxton's on me. I'm just gonna shoot it up. Now Horford got nothing but 3 guards down there that are under 6'3". I'm just gonna go out and grab it and go put it back in.
Horford like he was 25 again in Atlanta, man. That shit was crazy.
I went to go look at the box score to see the minutes, and what Bruce Brown 37, Drummond 17,
right?
Griffin did not play. Aldridge did not play. Come on, man.
That's Nash. That's Nash for you. Nash coaches like he coaches like it's 2K.
He played all guards. He played all guards. All the guards have
Bruce Brown was playing power forward. Bruce Brown is like 6'4".
He has lineups where it's like you got a 7-foot skinny guy, and then everybody else is under 6'4". It's like
and you know what? To your credit, as good as Kyrie is, they almost still won that goddamn game. Even with all of that,
because KD played bad and they still almost won. And it's like that's
right
because Kyrie was going nuts.
I do think though, when he flipped off the fans, if y'all let him win after he flipped off your fans, somebody got to lose their job. Ain't no way. Like, y'all got to jump him out the game. Something has to happen. He can't come to your house, spit on your fans, and then leave with a win. It just you had to figure something out. I guess they did.
Yeah. Do you think he should have been fined for flipping off fans who probably were saying worse?
I think he should have been suspended.
Suspended for flipping off. This is Boston.
Yeah,
you know what they were saying. Like,
they called him nigga with the ER. They called him nigger. Oh yeah, no. They called his mom that. No. I don't think it was I don't think it was acceptable, but I still have this mindset of like, I know emotions get the best of you. Number one, you because you're Kyrie, not because of who you are as Kyrie, because you played here. You know what it is. You know what you're gonna get. It's the playoffs. And like, come on, bro. Like, it's to me, you should never rise, so you have to give the finger to somebody. Your play should be enough, in my opinion. I just think you got to let that shit roll. I don't think that's appropriate. So I think the fine. I feel like if you're gonna fine him, that's not a lot anyway. So I guess it's whatever.
50,000.
I mean, the man makes what? He makes that a fucking minute. Like, so who like literally makes like 50K a fucking minute? Like taking a shit he just made, $100,000. Like, who fucking cares? So like, I'm just in my mind, I'm like, I don't see why they even do this shit. But I mean, if they feel it makes sense, I guess. But I don't think it's wrong for giving him a fine. I just think because Boston's known to be raucous as it is, and they're not the nicest to black folk. Probably want to temper that shit down a little bit. Like,
yeah, like, and that's the whole thing. Like, it's like in the NBA, like, y'all just not gonna do nothing about the fans. They can.
I think it should be both. I think if they can prove
like,
that somebody says something like if he says something like any kind of like racial thing, get him out of there. Like, go home, get out. We don't want that shit here, or whatever. But like, Boston ain't gonna do that shit. Boston racist as fuck. That's why, even though I don't like the Nets like that, it's still Brooklyn over fucking Boston. The New Yorker in me can't go the other way with that. I hope Boston wins. No, I never hope Boston wins a goddamn thing ever in life. I'm sorry, I just don't.
And just the history of Boston itself just can't allow you to go there.
Dude, forget sports. The people there are trash. I'm not sorry. I'm sorry, boss. I don't feel bad about saying that. Douchebags all around the place. I'm sorry. It's over.
Right. No disrespect, New Edition.
Yeah, there's some diamonds in the rough. You know what I mean? New Edition's cool. I like New Edition. You know what I mean?
No, that was the only surprise for me at least.
Fair enough. Yeah, the Pelicans. Well, so I have two surprises. The Pelicans and Utah are surprises to me. The Pelicans, because what are y'all doing? Just knock it off. Just knock it off. You shouldn't be here. You know that. I know that, right?
Okay.
They shouldn't be there. But I think they're funny because it's like they're successful despite the fact that their best player doesn't want to be there.
I mean, weren't they close to? They were pretty close game one. I didn't watch it, but weren't they pretty close?
I mean,
they had
who was close game one?
Chris Paul went off, but it was competitive until Chris Paul just went hammer time.
I heard Chris Paul had to go in.
I mean, they're competitive. I mean, good to see that. I just think ultimately they're teams that I don't think the success is doing enough to woo your best player.
I think Zion is there. They take the Suns to 6 if Zion's there. Suns still win.
Really?
If Zion's there, they take him to 6.
I would go with that.
Win.
I don't think they have anybody for Zion.
What's the dude name?
He'll dunk all over 8.
Yeah, he's not agile enough. He has to come out.
Right.
And guard him.
And New Orleans plays big. So
they do play big.
It's like Aiden's gonna have to guard Valanciunas.
Yeah, or
so
Hayes.
It's like So now it's like Crowder on Zion.
Right. Which is it's not a bad matchup. Kinda. They make Zion run Zion was running point for a while, so it's not a bad matchup if Zion's running point.
Yeah, it's interesting. I do think so. Let me ask you this, G. In the interest of keeping Zion, do you think there's something that can be done this series to make him think, maybe I should stay? Do you think if they get to like 6 or 7, it's like he's like, maybe?
Yeah, we can. If we relocate to New York, he'll stay.
Yep. There you go. He's like, man, I love the food, but gotta go to the Knicks. Him and Donovan.
I think Donovan's gonna happen too, but so here's what's funny. Watching Utah's game, he just looked like he don't want to be.
Like, yeah, Donovan is done with Utah.
He just looked like he's just like, can somebody get me out of here, please? Can I leave?
Finish. I'm done with this.
Can I go somewhere else?
I think that the idea of Gobert as his teammate disgust him.
Not disgust him.
Yesterday you could just tell. Because the other thing is like Snyder as a coach is like, dude, you're getting burned on this. Like, I know y'all paid him $200 million, but you cannot play Gobert this series because all Dallas was doing was like, all right, well, we're going to put a tall shooter out there. And Gobert, like Charles Barkley said, like he's literally just being a goalie, just standing in front of the basket. And his man is like wide open in the corner every play. Like I think they set a record. I didn't know this was a stat. That's why I hate analytics and just make stuff up. But it is an interesting stat. Like Dallas had like the most wide open threes, like in playoff history.
You're lying. You are. Nah, you're making that up. Nah, you're making that up. You're making that up. There's no way. There's no way.
It's like yo, they had the record for most wide open three because Gobert does not come out of the paint. So it was like,
yo, I mean, how do you lose without Luka?
Listen, I was watching
Jalen Brunson dropped 40.
Right.
That's why
I was watching. It's like, yo, Gobert really stands around the basket like a goalie. Like he really does not move. So all they were doing, Dinwiddie and Brunson, especially in the fourth quarter, they were driving and just kicking it to whoever was in the corner. That'd be Gobert's man. He just hit a wide open three. Wide open.
It is it's hard to pay a guy like that who if you find the game plan for him, he becomes just useless. If he has to go out there and guard somebody, him being on a 3-point line helps no one. It stops that one shot, but now you have no one behind him to actually be able to protect the rim. And that's why I know you can pay that guy 200. I know he's even to play the year. You can't give him 200 million. You fucking can't do it.
They and you know, people hate that. Like they think Charles and Shaq and all the older NBA players are haters, but it's like if y'all actually listen to what they say, a lot of stuff that they say actually comes true. Like Shaq was saying, he's not worth $200 million, and it's pretty clear because you're watching him get exposed. This is the second year in a row because the Clippers, without Kawhi last year, and Utah was the number 1 seed. The Clippers beat them doing the same thing. Like, all right, well, we're going to go small because Gobert sucks on offense. He ain't going to make us pay for it. So we just going to
play. And I think that's the thing. I mean, you look at like what centers used to be. A post game was a thing. You could go dump it off and they can get you 20 a game. Now it's a problem. Now, at least maybe you're going to get exposed if you have the spread out offense, but when you're on offense, he's killing somebody down there. That's not his game. And I think that's why you can't pay him for just doing one thing like that. You just can't.
I just prefer my centers not to cry when they miss All-Star.
I'm with that energy too. With that energy. This man cried. You go in the locker room after crying, you'd be like, what's wrong with you? Man, I ain't make this. Shut your ass up. There's guys that are fighting for their NBA life. You mad you make the All-Star team? Fuck out of here.
Right.
I'd be if I'm the 10th man, I'm like, man, fuck this guy. Well, it's do we know any more about who we think's gonna win the championship? It's early.
Oh.
It's very early.
Analytically, the Celtics.
Analytically, he says the Celtics. I actually think this is finally Chris Paul's year. I think they're gonna do it.
Who they play after they sweep my boys?
Actually, who do they play after they sweep them? Let's see.
I think they play the winner of Utah and Dallas, I think.
Yeah, that's a dub.
Or
I can see the Suns.
Memphis and Minnesota.
Suns Celtics.
Suns Celtics? You think the Celtics are gonna get past the Bucks and the Sixers?
Analytically.
Really? Or the Sixers, I should say?
No, that's my analytic answer from looking at the data.
Boston's probably the best defensive team in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, I feel like the Bucks had a flat season. I don't feel they didn't get really better. I think the Celtics are taking a step forward, even though
Bucks basically just ran it back.
Yeah,
yeah, really. Really.
Well, it'll be interesting to see.
Dang,
how
that's
that
really
turns
crazy.
out.
They really just read it back. like, like they played the 12. It was like, yo, read it back real quick.
Yeah. It's like, yo, keep the same team. We don't need to change nothing.
Damn.
Well,
Yeah.
is that
I think Suns are for sure. The East, I think the East is really up in the air, man. I think
It's
it
tough 'cause-
depends on who get hurt.
So I think Brooklyn can beat Boston.
I think they can too. I just think they gotta. I mean, play more than
Miami,
like five guys.
I still don't believe in Miami
I
them
don't
beating-
either, man. Something about them
Yeah.
just feels like I just could see them losing.
because
I
of
don't know.
they're like they're led by Jimmy Butler. It's like same thing with Denver. Like you'll never believe in Denver if Joker's their best player.
Jimmy Butler is
Whoa!
is-
Because you know it's on deck.
oh my god,
You know Jimmy Buckets is on deck.
Jimmy Butler is A tier. I'm saying he's A tier. I think they can with him. I believe in him way more than like Utah or Denver. Way more in terms of like those guys led by the star player where you're like, I like Donovan. I think he needs more, but like with Utah or not Utah, with Denver, you're like, Jokic, do I really think that you really gonna kill in the playoffs like you need to? Maybe.
No. Joker's just been getting locked up by Drake.
Right, like that can't happen.
That
And me
shouldn't
believe
happen.
in you. Like it just you got him like 5 inches, bro. Like, come on, man. Go dunk on his head and keep it moving. Like, but I also listen, going back to
GP2 was pinning his stuff off the glass.
right.
Yeah.
So
Jokic-
going back to that whole, I'm gonna bring it up again. When the man pushed the Morris brother in the back, he showed he's a bitch. When you show you a bitch, I don't believe in you. Yeah, I can go back to whatever y'all want. Well, he pushed your brother, dirty play. Jokic is a bitch. Maybe his brother's got some heart, but he don't. He
They
weak.
got different rules in Europe. They got different rules about when you can fight in Europe.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't care about that. That man's soft. They're gonna need some dogs around him if he gonna ever win a championship, in my opinion. So, I mean, I think Jimmy's a dog. That's why I won't bet against Jimmy. He a dog. And
I'll
then
bet against Jimmy.
He survived Thibodeau for years playing him at 49 minutes. He a dog. I believe
Yeah,
it.
because you know why you can survive that? Because you're a bum. Like it's only bums can survive.
Nah,
that type of-
Jimmy
No,
Jimmy
man.
worked
He was
hard,
giving
man.
it both ways, man. He's
He
giving it
worked
both
hard,
ways.
man. He worked
Jimmy is a
hard.
guy that averages like 17.
I don't care. He plays
Jimmy,
hard
like,
on defense.
Didn't he get
and
like 40
offense.
tonight? He had
He
like
got
40
40
tonight.
tonight. He got 40.
Yeah, it's a nice job killing Bogdanovich.
Listen, you know what? All right, you know we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on because we trying to be
Job
respectful.
killing Bogey.
Listen, fuck out of you. Gotta be who's in front of you. What do you always say? Be who's in front
Like,
of you.
you gotta
be
play
being
who's in front of you,
him.
but it's like, like, come on, Jimmy. Like, 'cause I think they get Philly next round.
Oh,
So-
damn.
It's gonna be a test because I think, but I mean, again, am I getting regular season before the strip club James Harden, or am I getting at the strip club James Harden,
You
or
might
am I
get at the
getting
strip club
normal-
because they're in Miami.
or am
He's
I
like-
getting normal James Harden in the
He's
playoffs? Like,
like,
it's levels to this shit. Like, which
Harden
one am
gonna
I
be-
getting?
Harden gonna be showing up the game with glitter on his face.
Yo,
It's gonna be-
if that nigga beard glistens before he even sweats,
You gotta be
That's a
wiping the
problem.
glitter off.
like that's a problem. If he walked in and when he doing a little walking with his outfit, if his beard is glistening, they not winning. That's just
You're right.
period.
You're gonna be
point
wiping,
blank.
you're
If
wiping
I-
confetti off his
if I-
off his
if I-
shirt.
If I say, yeah, like, he coming with the shades and the old beat up hoodie.
Right,
Like,
the
nah,
shades.
that means he had a rough night. It's a
I
wrap.
mean, I ain't even been to sleep yet, dog.
he gonna pull up in the limo from the strip club. Like, all right, let's go play a game. Got me a bacon, egg, and cheese, man. Let's go. That's time for that shit. You can't trust him. And if you don't have him, you just got all you got is what? Embiid, who ain't enough. So
Right.
yeah, nah. I
Harden
gotta see
ain't
that
like-
first.
Yeah, Harden ain't like Joe Namath. Like he,
I think
Right, nah. He
you're-
ain't gonna he ain't pulling
No.
that off.
Joe Namath.
I'm not buying it, bro. Harden didn't even score the last game. They technically don't really need him to score if I'm looking at the stats.
Maxie
in
was
game
balling.
one.
Maxie been balling.
I think
Yeah, Harden
the
played 40
ascendance of
minutes and
Maxey
he only had 19 points. 14 points for 40 minutes.
Maxey has shown like he's a legit star in this league, budding star in this league. Love to see that. Let us see the young boys doing their thing.
Yeah,
So
he
that's
gonna need
cool.
it because Les Harden asked him to party with him. No, Harden the type like he's gonna ask little baby and Meek.
You gonna have like the rappers like, what are
He's
you
like tickling each other in the
I'm not going over that again. Boys having tickle fights.
Okay, yeah.
tickle
that
fight
was-
at the strip club.
that was
I
kinda
just
wild.
like these supposed to be the hardest dudes out. That's why I'm like, new rappers is different, man. You and another man tickle you, and it's funny to you. Like, I'm
Right,
just
he
saying.
like and make it funnier because he's like 6'6" and he's like just taller than everybody else.
He's
It's
this
like-
big tall weirdo tickling.
He's like, got one question for y'all. Who's coming with me? We got a game tomorrow,
Who's
James. Like,
coming
who's
with
coming with me?
Who's coming
coming-
with me? Oh man.